Hello everyone, my name is Sick and welcome back to another ArmA free Eden editor tutorial video. And in this video I wanted to discuss a health pickup system that I made for one of my missions earlier. And if you follow me on Facebook, then you've seen a picture that I shared there with a description of how to do this, but I figured I would make a video about it as well, because usually that's a little bit more clear. It's not very hard to do, but the reason that I wanted to use this before was because in the mission that I used it, which is called Operation Flaming Eagle, that mission is quite long, and though the player has a medic, that medic is able to be killed, and if the player does get hit, it might be a very long time wherein the player has to hear the player character wheezing and coughing that he's hurt and blah blah blah, and that's always something that's very annoying to me. So I figured I would need a new system where the player would be able to heal himself, but something that would not be exploitable, because it's pretty easy to do with a radio call signal, and then you could just make that repeatable, and then the player could heal himself however many times he wanted, or you could make several radio channels and each channel could only be used once and then heal the player once. But that's something I didn't really like that, because it's too easy and I don't know, it's just not for me. I wanted to have something that would reward the player for having a look around his environment, something that he would need to find, like some kind of bonus, or yeah, like a pickup, So what I did was I went googling and I found a nice bit of code to use, and I'm going to show you what I did and how I did it. So first thing we need is a game logic, which you can find under systems. And then you have the logic entities. You also have the modules, where you find the intelligence, where you create your tasks and diaries and all that stuff. But we need to be in the logic entities. We need to find the game logic and place it down in the world. And then we open it up. And in variable name, I'm just going to call it something like healing logic. And then in the init.sqf, I'm going to copy and paste, or in this case only paste the bit of code that I already have, because it's a little bit long to type out and I didn't write it down, but I copied it from my Facebook page, and I'm going to put it in the description of this video. So all you really need to do is scroll down a little bit when you see this video, copy it, paste it in your own game logic in the editor, and that's all basically. Oh well, this is another little step, but it's not very hard. So I'm just going to copy and paste it. It has a few things going on. So pickedUpCount is 0, so you haven't picked up anything yet. pickedUpCode is deleteVehicle, so once you pick it up, the thing that you pick up gets deleted from the world. And then it says pickedUpCount +1. Hint, you can put in whatever you want here in the hint format, and I put that's better to signify that the player got healed. And then at the end of it I said player set damage 0, and that's something that makes sure that you don't need this because this bit of code you can use it for picking up intelligence items as well, I think. But in this case you pick up a painkiller box, and yeah, I need the player to be healed because of it, so I put player set damage 0, which means he is fully healed again. Okay, so again, you can find this in the description of the video below. I'm going to press OK. And then all I need to do is, what I need to do now is actually, I need to go into props, and let's see, I need to find the painkillers. Do we no longer have painkillers? Do they come with a mod? I suppose they come with a mod then. Interesting. That's a little annoying. Okay. There should be a painkiller in here somewhere. Painting. Yeah, there we go. There's a space in between. So we have medicine, painkillers. Okay. So I'm going to find one of those, and I'm going to plop it down onto the table over here. And then I'm going to move the camera around a little bit. There it is. I'm going to move it to the edge of the table. And I'm going to open this up. And in the init.sqf, or not the init.sqf, but the init box of the painkillers, I'm going to type the following. And this, I need to take a look at my cheating note. This add action. We need one of these. Heal. This is actually what the action is going to say. So if you're in the action menu and you scroll down, then you will see this as an option. You need to have a space and one of these signs, call pickup code. You need to have another one to finish it off. I'm going to have one of these and then a semicolon at the end. And that's all we need. And we might as well make this a capital H, right? So that is all we need to do. And one thing I do also like to do, because it's on the table, and I think if I spawn into the world right now, this is going to fall through the table. So what we need to do is we need to go into special states and disable the simulation. Okay. And I'm running the Eden Enhanced mod, which adds extra options to the Eden editor. So if you do not see this, then you might consider getting that mod, because it's really quite excellent and it adds a lot of options and things that are really useful for making missions and making missions that look really professional. Okay, so I'm going to disable the simulation, which means that it won't fall through the table. It's going to stay and it's going to float. It's going to float wherever I put it down, right? Okay, last thing we need to do is, of course, we need to open up the rifleman, and I'm going to have to damage him a little bit. So let's see. And these are all options, I think, that come from the Eden Enhanced mod. So let's see. Presence, no. Identity, no. Where is his health? Ah, there we go. So I'm going to make sure he's very damaged. And then let's go into the scenario. And then I should be able to pick up this item. As you can see, I can now heal myself, but I'm going to move forward. And it's a little bit tricky, but yeah, if I look down in the different direction, like you have to move around a little bit to see if you see the option. But right now, I have the heal option. I'm going to select it. It's going to say, ah, that's better in the top right, as you can see. And now I am fully healed. No longer anything wrong with me. And the painkiller box disappeared. Alright. That is literally all you need to do. You need to only have one game logic. That is the only thing you need in this case. Only one game logic, and you can copy and paste these painkillers as many times as you want. It doesn't really matter. You don't need to do anything with the code. You don't need to change anything in here. You can put these anywhere you want, as much as you want. The only thing, of course, is that you need to tell the player who's going to play the mission that, oh hey, you can find painkiller boxes that can heal you. And the other thing is, you can also use these painkiller boxes even if you're fully healthy. Okay, and you're going to use it up and it's not going to be able to be used again. It's not going to go into your inventory or anything like that. So once used, it stays used, it's gone from the world, and that's it. So the player needs to be aware of this, and the people making the mission the mission as well, because yeah, it would be a little bit of a shame if the player picked up all of these things while still healthy, and then when he gets hurt he doesn't actually use it anymore. And of course it is on the mission editor or the mission maker to make sure that there is well, that the mission is dressed up nicely so that the player actually wants to go explore and go into buildings and find these things. Right? And that's going to take up a lot of time, but it's going to be worth it in the end, because it always looks really nice when a mission is dressed up in that way. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you find it very useful, and maybe you're going to use it, maybe you're not, I don't know. But I think this is one of the ways in which you can have the player get his health back that is rewarding exploration. It makes sure that the world feels a little bit more alive, maybe. And yeah, I don't know, I like doing it this way for longer missions, especially if medics can die and stuff. So, please like and subscribe if you want to see more of these kinds of tutorial videos. And I'll see you guys for whatever I do next.